Hey everyone. So I'm Peter Paquette, work for PlayStation, and I'm here to talk to you guys a little bit today about how you guys can get your games out on PlayStation as well. Come work with us. Maybe you'll work for us at some point in time. Who knows? So yeah, please come in, sit down. There's plenty of room. I'm a technical account manager. I'm actually just a little bit new in this role. I've been working for PlayStation for a long time now, almost 8 years come October. So I've been around in the developer support group for a long time. My prior roles have all been in the support engineer role, and most recently I've been working on the platform services team, dealing with network submission issues, policy, stuff like that. So all very relevant to what you're going to hear me talk about today. So let's get to it. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about how you're going to contact us in order to become a registered developer, and a little bit about the submission process. Unfortunately, a lot of the information that I usually talk to people about is very technical or under strict NDA. We have licensing and registration process that allows you to come into the fold, as it were. And so I'm going to be a little bit hand-wavy about some stuff, but I will give you a few high-level common problems that developers usually encounter in the submission process to give you guys a little bit of an idea of what to be aware of, and a little piece of information that you can use to search for. And then we'll talk about getting your title published on the PlayStation Store, a little bit about support, and a quick wrap-up summary, debunking maybe a couple of myths. So let's talk about how you can come into the fold, talk to us. So basically, overall, registration's free. It's super easy. All you need to do is go to this website. We have a specially made US version, so that's a link I'm giving you guys since we're here in the US. And I'll show you a screenshot of that in a little bit. All you really need to do after contacting us initially is sign a global developer and publisher agreement, or GDPA. And then once that's done, you'll have access to our SDKs, Unity relative information that's inside our wonderful wall, and then all our support and any necessary documentation. All this is freely available, and once you contact us and do the little legal front end, it's super easy. And then once that's kind of done, you'll get an account manager in our developer relations team, and they will be kind of your business liaison. And then I, as a technical account manager, depending upon your size of your company and scope of business, I might be your technical contact person. We have other guys who are kind of focused more for Unity, so it might not be me, but somebody like me. And most importantly, this legal document covers all of our platforms, so you don't have to have a separate legal document for PS3 or Vita or PlayStation 4. We're making it super easy for you to get on our platform. So this is a little bit what the US website looks like. There's more to it. I'm not going to scroll here. But I've got the most important information. It's really, really just like 3 easy steps. 1, 2, 3. And then when you click on number 3 there, you'll get to this funny-looking web page where you'll click on PlayStation Partners. And then the following page will be a form where you'll fill out information about you and your company, and then continue on. And that'll be how you get to us. So after that, there's going to be something that we're going to require from you, which is this content plan. And this is basically a way for you, it's kind of like dating. It's a way for you guys to tell us a little bit more about us, because we have lots of information to tell to you. And this is where you're going to tell us about your games that you're looking to publish on our platform, maybe a little bit about your business policies or your plan in that regard. And it's really about you telling us more information about you and what you're planning on doing, so that then we can go inside and say, hey, yeah, that sounds really cool. Maybe we want to part with you or something like that. It's really, kind of not a difficult thing. And so, yeah, we might provide some optional feedback for you, stuff like that. Next. There we go. So that's going to also include some basic company information like your bank account, etc. We'll need that stuff, for when we need to pay you out later. And then you'll have signed your GDPA, and then once you've kind of done all that, and you're more ready to, go out and publish your game, we're going to give you a product code, or another internal term for it is title ID. And that's basically an ID that is going to be associated with your specific content that you're going to publish on our platform, and will be the same throughout the life cycle of your content. You might have multiple of these at some point in time. It's kind of cool. And basically, it's that simple. So what do you need to do? What's required from you is some development hardware that you're going to purchase from us. And you also need to make sure to test your application. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second, but basically, we have some things that you're going to need to test specifically, but content, functionality, all that's really up to you. And so we are definitely relying on you guys to make sure that, the quality of your games are high, and by doing that, we're relying on you to test your own games to make sure that that's the case. So let's talk a little bit about the submission process. So once your game's ready to submit and you've done your own testing and all that, you're going to submit to our QA group called Format QA. And it's free to do that, which is cool. At the moment, you're going to need to submit to each region. We aren't we are a global entity under Sony, but really when the games industry started for us a long, long time ago, it was easier for us to set up in each region and run separate businesses as a result. So at this point in time, although submission isn't global, we are definitely working towards that, which is what that means. Don't have any timelines that I can specify, at this point in time about when that'll happen. But basically, if you want to submit in Japan, you'll need to submit to Japan. If you want to submit to somewhere in Europe, which includes Australia, you need to go to Europe. And for anywhere in the Americas, it's us. So let's talk a little bit about the submission process. So our testing is really focused on our technical requirement checklist. And that's a list of things like... Oops, that's another slide, sorry. I'll get to that soon. So again, like I said earlier, we don't test functionality issues, so we really rely on you guys to do your own testing. But if we do run into something that's maybe questionable about your game, maybe it stops working and we're like, did it crash? We're going to let you know. Turnaround time is 5 days, that's our SLA. On that. And after you've submitted to us, we have what's a web portal called FQA Web, where you'll be able to contact the submission team, the FQA department after the fact. Once they start reporting bugs and bugs start showing up, you'll be able to talk with them about, okay, hey, that crashed actually, or whatever that happens to be, that you're questioning, that's not actually an issue, or that's a part of the game design. Or, okay, yeah, we totally, get that there's an issue here. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more information about this. And then maybe if you're wanting to talk more about that particular crash, or maybe you fail a specific TRC requirement, then you'd come to us at support and say, hey, what do I do about this? Is there a way to fix this? I'm not quite sure what I know is going on here, and we're happy to, have a discussion with you about that kind of stuff. You will get a speedy response from our QA team, since we have a SLA of about 5 days, and they're super happy to help. So in terms of the areas that we're going to test your application, really those are in the areas of quality control for us a little bit. usually those are focused on features that are relevant to our platform, so like your implementation of save data and how that works in your game. Compatibility, branding, business policies, system security, consistency, objectional content criteria, which we have other specific documentation that you can find in our support portal, and legal requirements and other things. So let's talk a little bit about some common issues that developers have encountered on our platform. And I'm going to give you the top 5 that people usually run into. And these are common issues for Unity games, so developers like yourselves have also run into these. Most of our TRCs are handled by the engine itself, but not all of them. Some are user experience related, or your implementation of save data, for example. And so let's dive right in. So don't leave me hanging. There's a specific API that you need to call at regular intervals to make sure that your application suspends properly. And unfortunately, this is kind of like the #1 problem that some developers have. It's related to a specific graphics call, which I'm not going to name, but basically, like as far as you guys are concerned, you're going to want to make sure that your graphics loops are occurring and that you're flipping your frames so that your application can suspend on our platform. This could be blocked by calls to save data or networking or other blocking APIs. So threading, awesome, let's do that. And for 089, R4089 is your search term if you guys become registered developers with us later. So you can reference this presentation later and find some more useful information on our PlayStation Developer Network portal if you so want to. Networking. So basically, before using online features, we ask you to call another specific API. And that's basically to ensure legal compliance towards underage users. So when you initially launch your game or your game boots up, you'll register like what the lowest age of users that can play your game online. And then you're going to call a specific API, and that API is going to basically say yes or no. And it's really simple. You just make sure that you call it before you use any network features. And it's a super serious requirement for us. And I have a diagram. So if you have a network feature, call the API. And if it returns true, we're happy. Yay. Awesome. And if you have a network feature and you call the API and it doesn't return true, then we're sad. And that's basically it. Sorry for the hand wavy part of this. But it's really that simple. That network age that you specify for underage users, basically, when you call this API, it's going to say, hey, is this user above or below? And then you need to gate properly based on that. So, yes, 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 save data. So this is like this is number 3 on our list. We have a fair number of games that don't really handle save data all that well. And not going to really go into why that might be the case, but save data is important, and you guys should make sure that you do it, implement it great, really well. We basically only ask that you give an option to try to save again in the case of some sort of issue. And if you have an autosave, don't disable that. It's good because the user could maybe suspend your application and then fix their issue, like I don't have any more hard drive space, and then resume your application, and more autosaves continue, and then they're able to save, and we're all happy. So make sure to pay attention to this a little bit when you're doing your application development. Another big issue for us is trophies. So please unlock them based on gameplay only. Don't unlock them based on save data or based on something else. We really want to make sure that our trophy economy is awesome and vibrant and based on players' actual play usage from when they're actually playing the game, not based on some save that their friend, played the game a lot and then passed to them and stuff like that. It's not so cool. For free-to-play titles, all trophies must be attainable without requiring purchase of additional content or paid content. So basically that means that, everything can be played or acquired using the base game. You can't have, something that's going to gate access to any of this stuff. And not everybody likes to play online. I don't know why. But make sure that you install the trophy pack so that offline players can have access to this awesome stuff too. So, other things. Network errors. Please make sure that users are aware of errors when they do occur with the network. This happens to be kind of problematic. It's difficult to do networking, I understand. But the better your error messages are, the easier it's going to be for your end users to then go, oh, okay, I understand. Like, I have a network connection issue, somewhere here, or I have, the server's slow, or something else. Or just having a problem right now, I'll come back in a little bit. Or retry. Some of our errors are system handled, so like unplugging the LAN cable, like we will provide a system level notification about that. You don't need to really deal with that, but other network errors, a lot of WAN side issues, you'll want to pay attention to. Unfortunately, we don't have a set of pre-approved error messages to provide, but maybe we might in the future. Let us know if that's something, once you're a registered developer, let us know if that's important to you. And other things like make sure you're on our latest tools, especially our latest submission tools. Fortunately, we've updated our submission tools to auto-check versions, so that those kind of errors aren't going to be common anymore. But we want to make sure that when you guys are submitting your game, that our tools are checking your package to make sure that it's awesome and doesn't have any errors. And the best way to do that is to use the latest version of those, so please do so. We also have a set of brand guidelines, which is important to us because it's our brand and we want you to make sure that you're representing it appropriately. And another example is if you decide to localize your title, make sure that your critical text, like error messages, are all translated into those languages. So let's talk a little bit about getting your title on the PlayStation Store. I'm going to speed this up a little bit because I see that I'm almost running out of time. So once your application has been approved by our QA team, you'll be able to publish it on our store. It's pretty awesome. That'll take approximately 1 week to be published, and it's mostly all done behind the scenes. We just need some metadata to populate the store description and other things. That's done almost entirely in the background. You're going to provide all this information to us kind of up front. And you'll also be needing to provide a long description and some images related to the content that you do put on the store. So let's talk a little bit about support. We have a forum within our developer network website that offers Unity support specific to PlayStation platforms. And we have a kind of one portal, but it's separated per platform, so there are multiple forums. And through that, you'll be able to access Unity Pro for free and download that, and that's cool. And if you need to talk to us as well, please don't be shy. We're totally here to help. And we offer support on a broad range of subjects. Most of this, granted, is covered for the most part by Unity, but if you're doing any custom plugin work or anything like that, you may want to talk to us about our specific PlayStation APIs. So kind of things that we talk about or can help you on are CPU, GPU optimization, network, or submission-related things. And unfortunately, this is what I can show you about DevNet because we have our wonderful licenses and stuff. But this is, the actual portal, and you'll, if you register with us, you'll see more later. So we offer support for all registered companies. Platform support is free of charge. Please use it. We have lots of information, documentation, etc. We also provide training remotely or on site. And we're happy to provide feedback on any question that you might have, whether it's submissions or TRCs or anything else. Yes. So let's get to the quick summary. We don't need to approve your game design concept. Again, we just want you to tell us a little bit about what you are wanting to publish on our platform so that we can start a conversation with you about that. Just give us a broad idea so that we can talk to you and maybe give you some feedback. And this is only requested once and applies to all regions. We also don't charge you for submission to our QA. Yay. And remember, please, we don't test all the functionality of your game. Please test your games. Really, really important for us. And we provide support free of charge. And if you have any questions, let's do it now. Thanks. Please go ahead. Use the mic.
Yes, I just had a question about the Unity version. If I already have Unity Pro and then I got my separate code for using it for Sony, is it the same version of 5.2 and I just switch my codes, or do I need to download the version from the DevNet portal?
You'll need to download the plugin version from DevNet, and that may or may not be the same version as what the latest version of Unity is. So
Okay.
you will need to be a little bit aware of the versioning that is currently provided on DevNet, and yeah,
Uninstall, reinstall.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So the question was, are we up at Unity 5 now? Oh, great. So we're at Unity 5 on DevNet. Oh, awesome. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so just to quickly reiterate for everybody else who's seeing me there, from Unity 5 onwards, you just need to download the plugin from DevNet, and then you'll have the up-to-date, most latest version, which is super awesome. Thanks. Please.
Hi. So I'm just curious, how soon after you register as a developer until you actually get like a dev kit?
So you'll contact us, and it might take a little while, maybe a month, for the business to get back to you and process stuff. It also depends on where in the busy season we are. But once you get licensed and all that stuff, you'll be given access to DevNet. And then once you're given access to DevNet, you'll have the opportunity to go to the place where you can get hardware, click through to hardware and order whatever hardware, or depending upon your conversation with developer relations, you might sign a tool loan agreement, which would be us offering you tools for free for probably a small period of time. And then we would ship that to you. You'd either pay for it on DevNet, or we'd ship you stuff, and then there you go.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
For the networking API, the call, the yay or nay call, if you have, let's say, an authoritative server, or you're uploading, save content to your own cloud for a game, do you still have to go through that process? And
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have services that have specific APIs, and that specific call that I'm talking about is built into our API calls, but we also have a generic one for any internet access, basically. So if you're trying to go out to your cloud and say, hey, what's the latest save for this user, and it could be, so that they can access their game on any console, you still need to gate that. Basically, any online interaction, any network interaction needs to be gated by this call.
Thanks.
Yep. Please.
Hi. So I'll preface this by saying I'm not a network engineer. I'm kind of a proxy to somebody who's not here. But in terms of, and a little bit piggybacking on this, but in terms of network calls to, say for instance, you have like we're doing on PC, so we're having our own master server and matchmaking and stuff like that. Is that stuff, it has to be redesigned within the PS ecosystem, or can we use what we have, or how does that?
No, you can use your own stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I guess a little piggy on that. So is there any possibility of cross-platform stuff if we author it, or is that also? I assume no, but I guess stuff changes all the time. So
Talk with us.
okay, cool.
Will we have access to PlayStation VR?
Yeah, when it comes out. Well, and earlier versions. Yeah, you just need to talk to us.
What are the ESRB requirements for, like, working on PS4 or whatnot? Is that per region, or is that a separate, like, how's that kind of,
So
where is that in the process? I guess?
ESRB, so yeah, like network, that relates to the network age gating network API that you have to call to gate online content, as we don't want underage users to access content or possibly access online content that they're not allowed to. And we have a couple of different ways of dealing with this. One's an offline thing, and then there's the online portion. ESRB is only for the companies supported or countries supported by ESRB, so that's US, Canada, I think that's Mexico, and possibly some others. You'll have to check with the ESRB. So you would, if you're going to publish in Europe, need to talk to other rating bodies and organizations like PEGI, and then you'll go through some sort of certification registration process that's separate to us. It's them. And then when they come back, they're going to say, hey, okay, we reviewed your game and you got a mature rating, or maybe you got an E10 rating or an E for everyone rating. And then you're going to take that information and put in some settings relative to your game in the packaging and development process a little bit. And that relates to the offline portion for gating users who are underage from actually launching the application. And then there's the online portion for gating users from actually going online for the network portion.
So the rating is actually required by you guys, but just separate from your process, or is it not actually required?
Yeah, it's required.
Okay, cool, thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yep.
Yep. Cool. Awesome.
Next session ready to go, so
Yeah.
thank you all.
Yeah. Thank you.